All right, good morning, everybody. Appreciate everybody coming out. At this time, I'm going to call the meeting, like to call the meeting to order. Call the roll, please.
Master Combs. Here. Mr. Barger.
Here.
Master Bodkin.
Present.
Master Tudor.
Here.
Judge Taylor.
Thank you. Here.
No, I didn't. I got them backwards.
This meeting's not over yet, Larry.
I know it. It looks like I'll be alone.
At this time, Reverend Dennis Heisel, he was going to be here to say the prayer, but doesn't look like he's here. So if y'all will bow your heads with me, and I'll lead us in a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this wonderful day. Lord, thank you for allowing us all to be here to be the best leaders that we can possibly be, Lord. Just give us open hearts, open minds. Lord, just let us be the best servants that we can be for Madison County. It's a place that we all love, and it's the best place in Kentucky in my mind. Lord, we appreciate you. Lead, guide, and direct us throughout the rest of this week. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
At this time, I'd like to stand and Mike, Sheriff, I'm sorry, lead us in the pledge, please.
Everybody please face the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
At this time, would like to have a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting that we had.
Full move. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Bodkin.
Yes.
Master Tudor.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Glenna? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
In your Dropbox, you will see that I have given you the second quarterly report. Covers October 1st through December 31st. And as of right now, as of 12/31 of 2014, our total fund balance was $8,026,485.68. The revenues versus the expenditures for 12/31, general fund revenues were at 75.1%. Our expenditures are at 34.6%. Our road fund revenues are at 60.9%. Our expenditures are at 51%. Revenues for the jail is 58.3%, and our expenditures are at 54.9%. CSEP fund, the revenues are at 35.4%, and our expenditures are at 32.6%. And 911 fund, our revenues are at 52.2%, and our expenditures are at 42.2%. The total of all our funds together, our revenues are at 55.1%, and our expenditures are at 36%. Does anybody have any questions about the claims or anything about this report?
What was the road again?
Road is at 60.9% on the revenues and 51% on the expenditures. So we're doing pretty good on our expenditures so far. We do have some Allen Company bills that is on the addendum this time, that's going through where we've planned for some blacktop.
Well, the question is, for instance, we run out of money, say, in one line item.
Mm-hmm.
How do you justify that, or how do you take care of that? Do you just take it from?
We would normally take it from reserve for transfer if there's any there.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'd have to start looking at other line items and see if we are going to use all of that line item in the year. If not, we'll transfer from there. There's also some budget amendments that's going to be done. We can't do a budget amendment until we actually get the money in our bank account. There's several that's going to go over, and they do every year, usually around April of every year. I do budget amendments. If a revenue line item has gone over, then I will budget them in that overage in and put it in a line item. So you can have that money to use as an appropriation also. I do know of one that we're going to have. We have some money coming down from the state for $473,000. We had only budgeted in $300,000 for that money when we did the budget. So I will budget that overage, $173,000 in, probably next court if we get the actual money in by then.
Makes me feel better. You know, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Makes me feel better.
We're also transferring 300 from our LGEA, which kind of was planned when they did all the blacktopping last year. Normally, every 2 to 3 years, we pay some of the blacktop out of the LGA money because that's the only thing it can be spent on is the roads. So we're in the process of transferring. I'll be bringing around an interfund transfer for 300,000 from the LGA fund to the road fund. That'll help pay for the blacktop.
I don't believe we're gonna be doing no blacktop next month, so.
No, I think we'll be okay till next fiscal year. We won't have.
Well,
more
we've got June to go to.
Yeah, we just have a couple bills that we still, Allen Company's really good on working with us. Until we get the money in from the state, they don't require us to pay them. So
That
we're
makes
waiting
me
on a little
feel
bit of money
better.
coming.
Yeah. Could some of the overage, or you're saying we're collecting 473 from the Allen Company, but we'd only allotted 300 and something?
Yes,
Could that be why, like, blacktop's over budget a little
Yes.
bit?
yes, and
100% and
Yes.
culverts? Yeah, okay,
That's good to know.
yep.
And we'll
Very good.
also, usually county road aid, whenever we make our budget, we set it for exactly what the document that they send us for that year. But what they don't tell you is, they send you, after the fiscal year ends, they send you whatever's left, the 10% that's left. So we end up getting usually 150,000 more than what our contract says because it's left over from the year before. But every year that comes in. So usually that we end up budgeting, amending in also.
Well, our percentage is probably running about the same as it was last year, percentage-wise spending.
I'd have to go back and look and see what last year, I know as soon as we get into all this winter, it's not gonna compare.
Oh, no.
And hopefully we won't compare. Hopefully we'll have a much lighter winter. Last year killed us in January, February, March in the road. But I'll have to compare that back to see through December if we're running about the same. I believe we are. We might be a little bit more in blacktop than we were. We did more blacktop last year than,
But we got some extra money for it.
yes, we got discretionary money for a lot of it.
That's good to know.
And while Glenda's up here, I want to go ahead and mention, last meeting I talked about holding off on paying those bonds for the public officials. If y'all notice in your claims report that those are all have been changed to the $330 versus, which is for 4 years, and not $101.
They're in the claims.
They're in the claims, and so we did make that change, which is saving, it's about $77 per bond over a 4-year period. All right, it's not a lot of money, but every little bit helps. Yep,
I can use that in my district.
yep. Mark?
Yes.
We don't vote on the treasurer's report yet. Okay. Any other questions for Glenna?
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you. At this time, first order of business is I would like to amend the agenda, which I'll need a motion in a second. And I'm amending the agenda for the Northern Madison County Sanitation District easements. They had brought something in. It's actually a resolution for a part of the county where they need permission to run some sewer lines, and I just need to be able to amend the agenda for us to go over that here in a few minutes.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Who was the second?
John?
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. At this time, I was honored to read a proclamation, be part of the proclamation for the Trust for Life. And we had a great time the other day with Muse Watson. He's kind of a local celebrity now. And at this time, I'm going to ask Darlene to come up and just tell us a little bit about the Trust for Life.
And first of all, Muse Watson wanted to be here today, but the school is out, so he has daddy duty today, so he cannot be here. But last week was awesome, and the Trust for Life is not something that a lot of people seem to be familiar with. So with the Circuit Court Clerks Association, we have a trust that we collect $1. It's part of the legislation that we collect that dollar. Those dollars go toward the education of about organ donor awareness. We're really kind of low in that area in Madison County. I really want us to be on top of things, and for the last little bit, we've just more or less been toward the bottom. And I'm wanting us to become closer to the top on the dollar collections, but more importantly, the registry. And when you get your license, our office asks if you will want to sign up for the registry. If you do, then you can sign up right there. If you decide later you want to sign up, you can sign up online, and there's information about that in our office that we can give out to you all. But Mark has always been very supportive of the Trust for Life. He comes to everything that's involved with the trust, whether golf tournaments or when Muse was here. So I really appreciate Mark's support. But we just need more attention in this county about the organ donations and the importance of it. And there's so many myths out there, and we're trying to just get the information out. And that's what the trust is all about. So we really appreciate it. The proclamation, we did have an awesome day last weekend, and everybody was very appreciative of it too. And Muse has agreed to be our statewide spokesperson, not just Madison County. He's going to go statewide. We've got EKU involved now. We're going to meet with them and hopefully get some commercial type things going with them. So just appreciate your help and the awareness that you all brought to it last week. Thank you.
Darlene, what percentage of Madison County drivers are signed up?
40%, and we're really proud of the 40%. But our goal through December is to get to 50%.
50%.
Actually, that's the statewide goal, is to be 50% signed up on the registry. So we've got a bit to go here in Madison County, but I've got a lot of interest in it now, and I've got the chamber involved in it.
What did you used to be? Y'all have worked really hard on this, I know. How many percent have you raised in the last couple of years? Or
We probably raised 10 or 12%
Yeah.
in the last few years, and before that, it just was going really, really slowly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. When you go to sign up for your driver's license, and we ask that question, Kelsey is one of our driver's license employees, and she can tell you there's so many reasons that people give not to either donate or sign the registry, and so many of them, other reasons, are not understood. It's not correct information that they've received, and we're trying to get the right information out there for that. But we're growing, but we need to grow more, so appreciate the help.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Eric Compton is a professional golfer. He was actually in the mix this past Sunday in a rather important PGA golf tournament. This fellow is a double heart transplant recipient.
Wow.
So it's amazing what people can do and the lives that they can lead with the help of others.
Yeah.
He actually had the patch on. I don't know if you got to see the tournament, but he was actually wearing the Trust for Life patch Sunday in this golf tournament.
Wow.
So he's an amazing example of the things that can do, and truly it is the gift of life. And so I'm glad that Darlene is promoting this so aggressively, because it's certainly worthwhile going.
Well, we have actually have a member on the fiscal court who's live and here today because of it. He can tell you about that. So, Larry has been through this, and he is here today because someone signed the registry and someone, some family donated that part that he needed. So.
I'm glad to hear about that double.
That part
Yeah.
that he needed. So.
I'm glad to hear about that double. I might get another one.
Thank you all.
I'm in Berea about every Friday, and Darlene, your girls do a great job. I sit there and I aggravate them a lot, but anybody comes in there, that's the first thing they ask them. And it's amazing. You're right in what you said. It's amazing some of the excuses that people give. And I want to say, well, look, that's the reason I'm still here. But, you don't do that, but it's amazing of some of the excuses. That's like being in school and you're going to get a spanking. You can come up with about anything. But y'all do a good job.
Thank you, Darlene. Thank you for letting me be a part last week. Appreciate that. All right. At this time, I'd like to discuss the adopt a road to the county maintenance. This is Durbin Lane. The past administration had this work done and it's 680 feet at 16 foot wide, and it's 1,353 feet at 12 foot wide. And it's my understanding that this was never a county road, and the community on Durbin Lane had all come together and put up the money to get it up to our county regs. And they have done that. And so now we would need to vote to, we need a motion and a second to actually add Durbin Lane as part of our county road plan.
Has one of our foremen or anybody went out and looked at the road to see that it's up to snuff?
It is my understanding. I have not gone out there,
Okay.
but
Reagan, that's in my district. I carried the mail on that road for probably 20 years, and they really have improved it over the last several years. It is something I think that we can handle and take care of at this time. If they're willing, the residents are willing to, do what they've done to get it up to specifications, I think we should take it over.
yeah, okay.
Is it blacktop now, John?
No, it's gravel right now.
But they're willing to blacktop?
Oh, it is gravel?
As far as I know, it's gravel. Am I wrong on that?
I think it's my understanding it's been blacktopped.
Okay.
And
That-
the
that's
residents
within the
paid.
last year then.
That's right. And the
Okay.
residents paid. The residents paid to have it blacktopped.
Okay.
Yeah, if
I
they brought
wasn't,
it up to
Tom, is it blacktop?
standards.
it is blacktop anymore. Okay. I was unaware that it's blacktop. It's been
Okay.
recently.
Yeah, if they paid for the blacktop and brought it up to standards, then, we can take it over.
Would it be advisable to hear from someone from the road department just to confirm the information that you've got?
Probably would.
Might be a good idea to take this for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And actually get somebody here from the road department that is knowledgeable about it, to say that it has been done.
Right.
Okay.
Evidently, the front part's 16 foot wide and the back part 13?
There's more residence course on the front, and it narrows out in the back a little bit. Yeah.
But this is a dead-end road anyway. It's not going
That's
over.
right. Okay, so we'll table this event, or table this item until our first meeting in February. Okay? Next is the appointment. I'd like to, the court's permission, need a motion and a second to appoint Chandler Combs, to reappoint him back to the Planning Commission.
I so move.
Any discussion?
And I might say that he does a really good job, and he gives it more thought than anybody that I've ever talked to about the planning commission. Got a good level head, and he's kind of like myself. He's from the old school.
Good man.
Yep. Anybody else? Call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Potkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor? Judge Taylor?
Oh, yes, sorry. Sorry. Thanks for keeping me straight.
I tried.
At this time, I need to also reappoint Carl Richards back to as the Emergency Management Director. Carl, is there anything that you want to say?
Yes.
Well, I couldn't think of anybody that we could get to replace you that would do a half a good job as you do, and easy to get along with. And I really admire that, and I appreciate that. I move that we reappoint him, Judge.
All right.
Second.
Second by Master Barger. Call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. At this time, we need to reappoint Michael Bryant as the Emergency Management Deputy Director.
So move.
Second.
Call the roll. Is there any discussion?
I'd just like to say that Michael does a fine job, and been to some of the trainings that they put on and stuff, and they're top notch.
Got a good voice on the radio, hadn't
Yeah.
Call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes. The next item is a resolution. This is why we amended the agenda. The Northern Madison Sanitation District is running sewer down Robbinsville Loop and Irvin Road, and they're tying it in. They're around the little Stampers horse stable. Then they're moving on. They're going on down. I think there's a pump station there, and then they're going on down toward Estonia. And they just have to have our permission to be in our right of ways and to do that. And that's all this resolution is basically saying. So I'll need a motion in a second to accept this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Anybody have any questions? And I think Elliot's here. If y'all, Elliot, if you want to, do you want to come up and just give a little explanation?
Yeah.
And by the way, this is Elliot Turner.
I think Reagan explained there what we were doing. So we're it's a 6-inch force main taking. We're redirecting our flow from Greens Crossing back to Muddy Creek. We just need your permission to install the line in your easement.
Will that line, how close will it be to the roads?
I think you got a pretty narrow easement right there, but there's a power transmission line that's on the back side of the ditch, so we'll probably stay pretty close to the power transmission. We got to be like 3 feet off the power transmission line, so
So it won't
it's
be in
tight.
the
It
ditch
won't be in the
line
blacktop or nothing like
of the
that.
ditch.
It may be in the ditch, but if it is, we have to be 30 inches deeper than the bottom of your ditch.
Okay. Well, that was a question I had. I want to know if it was going to, you cross any of the county roads anywhere?
We do have a crossing there at the pump station.
Will it be bored?
The plan is to open pit, but if you all, Double D Development did an open cut just up from it. So if you want us to,
What
go over
road?
it, we can go
Is that
back.
Charlie Norris?
I'm sorry,
Charlie Norris, is that the road you're going?
Robbinsville Loop.
Oh, is the one you be
It's at,
cutting across?
Yeah, it's right there at 2819 Robbinsville Loop.
Well, it's
And- and,
probably,
It's not a
Go
very
ahead.
heavy.
I think some of this has to do with the new development. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That is, y'all know where the new development is going in?
John McIntosh's subdivision.
Yeah,
David Denny.
David Denny. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure it's needed, but I just, that's the reason I asked the question I asked.
Yeah.
because This has been years and years ago before any of y'all was here.
this road's not traveled as heavy as it used to be because
It's not, no.
it's just next to the new road and people going to their houses is all it's on it.
And we've had crossings before. We'll work with the road department, whatever they want us to do as far as the bringing it up with concrete and then blacktop in the last 2 inches. We're good with that.
Well, as long as you work with the road department, I don't have any problem with it. But I know sometimes, especially when the master's out driving their district, you run on one and say, well, what's happened here? And you call, nobody's notified anybody.
That's why
I'm
we're
not
here
saying
today.
y'all will do that.
That's why
Well, I
we're here
appreciate you
today.
coming up and letting us know about it. And that's in your district?
It's in my district. So everything would be through our right-of-way, existing right-of-way?
It will be from 2819 Robbinsville Loop Road up to Donald Stampers at 2915.
That horse.
And you all
Stables.
obtained a right-of-way from them?
From the Department of Transportation, yeah, we've
Okay.
asked for their permission to install on their
Yeah, they jump out of ours into the states.
Okay.
So they're not actually going on anybody's personal
Okay.
property.
No question from the residents it'd be a problem or anything?
No. We're actually we'll be on the opposite side of the road too than their driveways, so.
Okay.
Anything else?
Have we voted on that? I thought-
No.
No, we're ready.
I'll make a motion that we accept it.
I've got the motion.
You've already got the motion saying, okay, so now just call the roll, man.
Master Biken?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Berger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you, yes.
Thanks. Thanks, Elliot. Appreciate it. At this time, we will be going into an executive session for a proposed litigation. And now, Glenna, we're actually
Please stay.
we're actually going to change this up a little bit, and we're actually going to get up and go in here and allow everybody else to stay seated instead of having to stand out in the hallway for time. So anybody that wants to stay till it's over, you're more than welcome to do so.
Philip, you can tell the jokes while we're gone.
Yeah.
We actually got coffee donuts back here, that's the reason.
And we'll need a motion to
Oh yeah, motion and second. I'm sorry.
Second.
Tudor?
Second.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. This time we'll get back to the order of business. We did have a motion and a second. Kenny, there was a motion by Larry and a second by Roger to come out of executive session.
All right.
This time, call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. At this time, we're going to have a little discussion about our executive session. And there has been some potential proposed litigation with Grand Campus Properties and EKU not paying their tax bill. And I want to be on record, and the court wants to be on record that any private entity should pay their taxes, property taxes. And at this time, that tax bill for that Grand Campus is still on the tax roll. And so the executive session, at this time, we believe that if anything comes about, that they should pay their property taxes.
Judge Taylor, I'd like to make a resolution. I move that we draft a resolution stating that Madison County Fiscal Court takes the position that the owners of any property, including on Madison County property tax roll produced by the property valuation administrator, are responsible to pay all due taxes. As of January 27, 2015, the PVA indicated that the property owned by Grand Campus Properties, LLC, is on the Madison County tax roll. The Madison County Fiscal Court will further consider the appropriation of its participation in all the legal action and in the action of the property owned by the Grand Campus, LLC, is removed from the tax roll by the action of the Kentucky Department of Revenue.
I'll say.
Any discussion? Anybody like to make any comments?
Well, yeah, I'll make one small comment. We got to be fair to everybody in this county, and this is being fair. We hope it doesn't come to litigation. Maybe it won't, but if it does, I think this court's in favor of doing what we need to do. And even though there's always been a little question, is it on the roll, is it not? Well, it is. So that answers a lot of questions, and sure, they'll get a tax bill like anybody else. Now, whether they pay or not, whether they challenge it or not, we don't know. But if they do, we're in a position where I think this court's ready to do what we have to do for the taxpayers of Madison County. Now, anybody can appeal, but will they? We don't know.
I agree. I feel like that there is no litigation at this point. So
We also need to just, I think, let everybody know that they are paying their taxes right now. So,
I think all we're saying today, Judge Taylor, is if not only this situation or any situation comes up that somebody has some kind of reason or judgment and says that they're not taxable, that we're going to look into the reason and make sure it's liable.
that's right. I agree, 100%.
And there could be others.
There could be.
As elected officials, I feel like it's our duty to seek the tax dollars that's due us. And we'd be failing the public if we didn't speak up and say, you know, if it's fair to everybody, that everybody pay their taxes that's due that. I don't see how we can go any other way but to support this.
I agree. Anything else? Call the roll, please.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. At this time, it's the time for the judge's report. It's been an exciting 3 weeks. We're getting into our 4th week right now, and really enjoying it. Feel like we're getting a lot accomplished. I've said many times that my sponge is dripping, all the information that is gone through my mind, but had a blast, and appreciate everybody's support. Appreciate all the staff. We have some great employees, great leadership, and until you work with them hand in hand, you don't really see it and you don't really realize it. I want to thank the road department again. We've had a couple cold, snowy mornings. I've called them at 5 o'clock. I called them at 10 o'clock on Friday night, and they were out. Got a lot of comments over the weekend, guys, texts of just people in the community saying that our county roads looked really great Saturday morning. And so anytime that anybody gets a chance to thank our road department for the job that they do, I know they greatly appreciate it. So a couple of things that I want to make announcements on. Of course, the very first fiscal court meeting we had in Berea, had the superintendent and assistant superintendent down there to read a proclamation on recognizing the school board for the month of January. And so I had it on the agenda. I left the proclamation here and didn't get to read it. And so I tried to make it up to the superintendent, assistant superintendent, and I actually went last Thursday to the work session of the school board and read the proclamation there for them so that I could try to make up for it. So we did do that on January the 22nd. Okay. So again, if you all see any of the school board members out, thank them for their service. All right. Also, I wanted to talk about an emergency order. Madison County Utilities, they had a 4-inch water line that broke on Shallow Fork Creek and is adjacent to Tate's Creek Road. It broke overnight. The existing water line could not be repaired, and the district installed 2 1-inch service lines across the creek to temporarily serve some customers. And so I had to give them permission in order to try to get this fixed, because, and it's basically the bid process, because you don't have time to go through that bid process whenever you've got 1-inch lines running across the top of the ground. Well, this time of year, we'll have a mess on hand. So that's what this is about. And if anybody has any questions about that, y'all feel free to ask me.
Any motion on that, Kenny?
Information.
Okay. Yep.
No, yep.
I've got a copy of that goes in the minutes.
Yep. The next thing is, I just want to let everybody know that tonight they're having a public meeting down at the Russell Action Folk Center from 6:30 to 8:30 about the fracking. I think there's going to be it's kind of just a public community event, just kind of pros and cons for that. Just wanted to announce that. Last week I attended a transportation conference in Lexington at the Marriott. It was the Kentuckians of Better Transportation. A lot of great information, a lot of good networking with other county leaders, and a lot of times you learn a lot more out in the hallways talking to some of your county leaders, sort of how they do things, how you do things, and get great ideas, and really enjoyed that. Next week I'll be out for 2.5 days for the Kentucky County Judges Association Conference, which again is in Lexington. So at this time, do we have any comments from department heads? Scott?
Good morning, everyone. I was going to, before 2014, the memory of 2014 slipped completely away. I was going to cover about what our department did in 2014, the highlights, and go through this presentation with you all this morning. I'm going to start with our neighborhood recycling program that's taking place in 59 neighborhoods, 3 schools, approximately 2,552 bins. That number goes up and down from day to day. Sometimes it'll go up, we'll add some people to the routes, and sometimes we'll take some people off the routes. Through the process, we delivered 930,000 pounds of recycled goods to the Lexington facility, where it is processed, sold, and marketed by the city government of Lexington, and then the marketed return is returned to Madison County Fiscal Court. It's a great program. I get comments about it on a weekly, daily basis about how the residents really enjoy the recycling program, and just an overall great accomplishment. Livestock removal program. I'm going to cover this real quickly. Our livestock removal removed 1,433 heads of livestock removed from our Madison County farms. We made 73 domestic stops during the year. And when I crunch the numbers, and we keep a yearly tab of weight and disposal costs, that's approximately, for the year 2014, 811,000 pounds of livestock removed from our Madison County grounds. You know, that's helping our groundwater and its overall environment, boost our environment greatly. So, economic impact of 811,000 pounds of cattle in today's market. I'm not a market expert, but that's a tremendous amount of economic value.
About $2 a pound, Scott.
$1,600,000.
$1,600,000, good numbers. Yeah. So that's, and when you think about the economic return to that, that's a major loss for our farmers. But as you all, some members are farmers as well. You know, you have your good years and your bad years. So
Like they're all bad.
litter collection. Last year we cleaned up 605 miles, and that netted 2,618 bags of litter removed from our Madison County roads. This is the time of year when folks are driving by, and I see it myself, especially on our state, our county, and our rural highways as well. The litter really shows this time of year. And next month we'll get started in high gear, starting to clean things up before about the 1st of April, grass starts growing and covers all it up. So that photo there, that's a cleanup that we actually did in a retention basin off of Hampton Way. There's a retention pond, and we went and cleaned that pond out, and that directly froze. It would have flown right into Will Green Lake, and it's a good place to clean up for time. Loaner trucks. The county has a free loaner truck service. That's one of them right there. We come out and we park that in your driveway. It's there for when you got to clean out that basement, or you got to clean out the garage and keep things cleaned up on your properties. We set those in 197 different residences during 2014. Great program. I think we're up to about the middle of March right now as far as booking reservations on the program. So. Large item and recycle bin management. We made 536 trips dealing with large items when someone has that couch, that water heater, or anything large, and I include the recycle bin management trips. Unfortunately, when we started the recycling program, we started with some older, smaller cans. Those were hand-me-downs and redos from the city of Lexington. Every week, some of those tend to break, and we replace those or fix them on an as-need basis. I'll touch quickly on River Sweep last year. River Sweep will be in June again this year. I'll have the date for that here shortly when it's put on our calendars. We had 119 volunteers sign through the registration process. We get down there and clean up on the Boonesboro Lock, near the Boonesboro Lock on the Clark County and the Madison County side. Estimated 2 tons of litter removed from the Kentucky River. Never get a full exact amount, but it's a great day. We have a cookout. Highly suggest everybody coming out this year again.
When did you say that is, Scott? Sorry.
It'll be, I think June 19th. That around that weekend.
But in
usually
June.
around that third weekend in June, Saturday. Usually the event will run from 9 to 1 p.m. Household hazardous waste collection day last year. The 227 cars that came through the event was an all-time high. We did a little bit of different advertisement for it. We did a radio advertisement this year. We advertised in the paper, word of mouth, tried to talk about it as many places as we could. That event processed 9,920 pounds of household hazardous waste, that being that ammonia or a cleaner or a solvent, or even used motor oil, antifreeze, you name it. Household hazardous waste substances are available to get rid of on that day. That comes from a state grant from the Division of Waste Management, and we'll be applying for that again this year as well to have that event this year. So, any questions?
What about tires? Will we have anything for tires?
Magistrate Combs on tire amnesty, or actually they're not be calling tire amnesty program anymore. They're going to call free tire collection events. I spoke with the State Division of Waste Management, and that rotates around by the ad districts here in the state. And by their indications, I think we should be on schedule for one this fall.
That's also paint disposal, same time, isn't it, Scott? Usually?
Tires will be a state-sponsored event.
Okay, it's
It'll
different.
be separate from the household hazard. That count on a Magistrate Biking, but I would assume we've got about 30 to 40 bins extra left over. That's something we'll probably need to address in the future for the program as well. So
Are those currently out in location, or is that a certain time when you do that? And the reason I'm asking that, because I feel like Airport Road is the dumping place for old couches and mattresses and.
yes, when
I see a lot of.
I get word from the road department, we work well with the road department south crew, and anything that's reported to us, and I'll be happy to go out and drive out Airport Road, take my staff and pick anything up that we see.
And you have. We appreciate that.
When we see a piece of garbage on the side of the road, we stop and pick it up. Any tires, large items, that's what we do.
But these large bins, they're not currently located out in county locations,
No,
is
sir,
that
those
correct?
are on the recycle route. The residents in the neighborhoods that have signed up for the recycling route, that's the containers I was speaking of.
Well, Doug's got a crew out just about every day, probably not today, but.
They're out today too.
Are they? Oh, I seen them.
Hard man.
And I tell you, they had a load.
It's a good problem.
Oh, yeah, great.
I want to commend Scott on his program because he's kind of got a luxury in a way and don't know it because his whole department is out doing something good for all the people of the county, where a lot of your departments has to go out and say, well, I got bad news, you've got to do this or you've got to do that. But Scott's is a program that's nothing but helpful to the entire county, as well as if we don't clean it up here, we're sending it to somebody else when it washes downstream. And it's just our part that we can do. I think it's one of the greatest programs that our county can provide money for. And I've kind of mentioned it before that if money gets tight, this might be some of the programs that would have to go away, but I would hate to see them go away. We're trying to solve a problem before it becomes a bigger problem. And he does a great job at it. And I want to thank you for your service.
I always like, especially if we have to get on someone for garbage, we always make the comment, well, may have to get on you about this, but the county has this service I can offer you to come park this truck here to help you clean up your property as well. So, overall, just great services.
Yeah, that truck that you park, you said 197 uses this time. Is that on average it takes about a day and a half?
We set those trucks from Monday to Thursday at a residence, and then from Thursday to Monday. So on a given week, we'll set them in 4 different places.
We have two.
Okay. Yeah. That's great.
I'd like to also commend Scott on what a good job he does out there, and I'd just like to encourage all the residents to, during the springtime, when they're putting their trash out, make sure it's bundled up good, and because the wind will get in it and the dogs will get in it, and it'll be scattered everywhere. Just be a little more conscious of what you're doing with your trash and keep it in a good container so until the trash people come along and pick it up.
The only other thing I'll mention is, and I was speaking on behalf of the farm community, I've been to several board meetings, Farm Bureau meetings and stuff, and they really, really, really appreciate that dead animal pickup. I mean, it's a wonderful.
Only one in the state that does it.
Now, I believe we're the only one in the state that offers the service free.
Free, yeah.
Now, that's a great thing.
Yeah. But just you think about a cow laying on a farm that's right next to a subdivision, and you have the smell, you have the contaminating our streams or our water source, and it's just a wonderful thing that we do as a county. So it is a great service, and I know y'all appreciate it.
Sure do.
You've heard that many times, so thank you.
Welcome.
Any other department heads? Carl?
Just like to get you guys to be the sponsor of something that when I went to the Berea City Council, they asked me to carry the torch. Now that the governments are, the elections are over and everything's in place and the fire hoses got a little less flow through it, we'd like to get the 3 governments together. We used to do it every couple months. It's been a long time since we've done it. And we'd like to have one particular focus topic, and that would be the post-CSEP look for 911 in EMA. And I've been working on the list of things that EMA, CSEP provides through all the governments and agencies. And we'd like you guys to consider being the host for the next meeting, and I'd like to see us schedule one as soon as you guys feel comfortable. But I'd like us to do that, and Berea would love for us to do that, and I know that Richmond and Mayor Barnes would like to get us back on track with that as well. So I'd like to bring that to you guys, and you tell me what and when, how you want to do it. But they asked if I would approach you guys about being the host for the next one, and I said absolutely, and I knew you guys would be interested in doing that.
Where do you normally have?
Normally, we do it out at the county extension office because it'll accommodate enough of us, you know, because all three governments are well attended. And then you'll bring in specific people that need to be there to discuss the value or whatever of the various topics. So 911 and EMA would be one of the main presenters at this one because we need to bring you guys up to speed with how all of it works. Some people get confused and think CSEP and EMA is 911, and that's not the case. We work hand in hand, but we're two separate departments, and
Right.
we're funded in different ways. So
It's very informative, and, you know, we haven't had one in a while.
it has been a while. You're correct.
And I think we should. I mean, and I know it would be very beneficial to John and Tommy and the judge. And then, you know, you get a lot of feedback from the other two governments, but it's good to have some type of agenda, because if you don't,
You can get off track a little
it
bit.
can get off track.
Lady, is it normally at lunch or? is
Yeah,
it-
we usually have it at 12 o'clock, don't we?
Right. We normally have it where whoever's the host provides a simple lunch, and we have a working lunch. We eat while we're talking, and we work through things. And, you know, it's 60, 70 people typically attend from the three governments. And it has been a while since we've had one. And we need to get our game plan down so we can make the right choices now and start planning for the future. And 8 years isn't very far away, and we know in 8 years the weapons are going to be gone.
Yeah.
And we have to figure out what we're going to keep and what we're not going to keep. We can't keep everything, obviously, but the three governments need to have a plan of what they want us to keep so that we can be, you know, working toward that in the future.
Okay.
I'm available anytime. You might want to run it by Tom, because I know his schedule sometime.
I'll eat. I'll eat whenever you want to.
The only other thing I had for you guys is, and I brought it up in December, and they said bring it up when the new administration was in place. The Mesonet, which is weather stations scattered throughout the Commonwealth. There's about 65 of them. Western Kentucky University was the person that got the grant to kick this program off. As with all grants, they've diminished significantly, and Western Kentucky University has been picking up the entire tab for this program. It has a lot of benefit for farming and agricultural entities. We have one of the Mesonet stations here in Madison County, and they're looking for people to help co-sponsor these things for, it's about $5,000 a year. They're calibrated, they're maintained, they're self-diagnostic, and so I'd like to bring that up to you guys, and I can bring this subject matter expert in to talk at a fiscal court when you tell me to bring him in. I just need to give him some advance notice because he's hitting everywhere within the Commonwealth right now trying to get some support for this program because it's, you know, it's a pretty expensive program.
Is that station on Meadowbrook Farm?
Yes, it is. Yes, sir.
Do you have the money in your budget for that?
I can't unless we did out of EMA. It's not got a CSEP function because I already have a CSEP weather monitoring, but not looking at the same attributes as they do from an agricultural perspective. The National Weather Service does use some of it for local predictions to try to make them more accurate. But CSEP would never fund it, but we could always think about doing something in our next EMA budget or trying to reallocate in our EMA budget. State won't reimburse us for it. We would still be picking it up out of general fund because EMA budget is not funded very well through the state.
Is this something that we could talk to the three entities about funding together?
I think it would be a good topic for all three. All three would gain benefit, and I also mentioned to him that Eastern Kentucky, since it's on their farm, should be interested in being a partner as well. And if we got 4 or 5 partners, then, you know, $1,000 a year each of us is not gonna, you know, break the bank. And for what it provides for our agricultural community and making our weather predictions a little more accurate out of Louisville, it's, in my mind, it's a win-win.
So what would be that coverage? I mean, would it cover the whole county?
Well,
as far as the farming community and?
It gives you the base numbers that you need that should help all the farming community have a better idea of, you know, not only real time, but historical. And historical sometimes is as much value as real time, just depending on what you're looking at doing. But the gentleman that I met with, he can talk about anything you've got a question on. He's the one that started this program, and he just, you know, kind of a little bit over my head because he knows it so well.
Do you think it would be something that would be good to bring to this meeting that we're going to all be together?
We
have
could.
him there.
We
at
have
that?
him kick it off if you'd like, so that he can head back his long jaunt back home, and then roll into the post-CSEP EMA 911 era.
You'd have to limit his time, though.
Yeah, we'd have to cut him down, you know, hey, you've got 15 minutes to give your spiel, and handouts, he's got beautiful handouts that describe everything, but.
Well, and if court's all right with this, I'd like to get together and just come up with an agenda.
Okay.
And then once we have that agenda, then we'll share it with the magistrates, and then we'll try to schedule a date. I mean, is March too far out?
I don't think so. I think that's a good time it gives us plenty of time to plan it and get everyone's commitments because of your guys' busy schedules and their busy schedules.
Right. Okay. That's great.
That's all I have, unless you guys had any questions about any of the projects or reports. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other department heads? Everybody good? All right, comments from magistrates?
I've been doing the same thing, Judge. I've almost made the rounds. I've got a few more places to go, and once again, I just want to thank everybody for being hospitable when I show up and showing me what you have and answering my questions. I certainly appreciate all that. I got the unique opportunity to go through the jail the other day with Mr. Thomas, and I thought maybe a time or two he's looking at me kind of funny, like he won't put me in one of those cells. I wasn't all that thrilled, but I do appreciate that. If you've never been over there and you don't know what those facilities are, you need to take a look at them, because we've got a tough challenge coming up with the jails here real soon. And also want to thank the road department, because I'm starting to get a few calls now to get this fixed and that fixed and problems, and they've been responding well to those, and I certainly appreciate that.
I just want to say thank you to all the department heads and the fiscal court and Clark Barger over there, and our attorney here for the court, Mr. Robbins. Appreciate you guys. Each one of the department heads seem like doing a great job, and all the employees, appreciate them. I just want to reiterate that you know, it's our responsibility as citizens to do what we can to help beautify the community, and just try to keep your trash and everything picked up off the roads, and do what responsible citizens should do. It's good to be on the board.
Thanks, buddy.
I want to commend the two new magistrates and our judge and deputy judge. They've been a ball of fire since they got on board, and they've run from here to there, especially the judge and the deputy judge, and the magistrates have shown a real interest in what's going on, not only in their districts, but what's happening in mine too, and that's a big asset, because we all need to be on board when we discuss these things and decide what we're going to do or not going to do. It's not just my decision, it's the court's decision. But you all took a real interest and showed a real concern for your county, as well as what's just going on in your district. And you two, this fine lady sitting back here and the judge, they've probably looked over more numbers in the last 2 or 3 weeks than I've looked over in my lifetime. But, and believe me, they're crunching numbers, and they're trying to decide what we can do here to make it better, and do we need this and whatever, and I appreciate you.
Thanks.
Larry?
Brother Combs?
Yes, sir. Well, I just want to thank each one of you, the judge, the magistrates, county attorney, for your willingness to work together. I think it's going to work out good. Colleen, I want to thank you. I called you, Johnny, on the spot when I asked you for information, and I want to thank you for that. I called Glenna the other day, and she's Johnny on the spot too. So I think we've got a lot to look forward to, and I look forward to working with everybody. And I'm just glad to be here, Judge.
Glad you're here, buddy. Glad you're here. One of the things before we do agendas, I would like to ask, we were talking about the jail. Doug, how many do we have in right now?
We got 285 right now.
All right, and then you've took some to Casey County, is that correct?
We've taken a total of 35 to Clark County. Clark County were state inmates, so those will be returning. And we took, I think, 14 more, mostly were female inmates, to Casey County yesterday.
Okay. So right now, we got approximately 300 inmates, that 14 in Casey and 285.
35 you know, from Clark and Casey County that, you know, we're 285 this morning.
The 35 that you took to Clark, those were state inmates?
No, let's talk about the 35 total. Some were state and some were
Okay.
child supporters. And,
Okay.
and
Yep. Thanks. Anybody got any questions on that?
There was something I wanted to say, Judge. I forgot, just a little bit different subject, but last Friday, I had the opportunity to go to ASAP conference up at the First Baptist Church. And Sheriff Cole was up there, and he'd done a real good presentation. Him and his deputy, they done a great job up there, and we learned a lot of things up there. It was really an eye opener, and they was probably 100 or so people up there. You done a good job up there, Sheriff.
Don't blow him up too much.
All right, I'll let him down a little.
Audience, anybody like to come up? All right. Again, I appreciate everybody being here today. I know it's been a little long meeting, but I love meetings, and I love getting things accomplished. So at this time, I need a motion and a second to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Measure Tudor?
Yes.
Measure Combs?
Yes.
Measure Barger?
Yes.
Measure Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Our next court meeting is Tuesday, February 10th, right here, right back in this room. So, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Call the roll.
Measure Combs?
Yes.
Measure Barger?
Yes.
Measure Botkin?
Yes.
Measure Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.